Hey everyone, Ken here from the Dyslexic Investor, and we are going to be looking at a juicy one today. We're going to be looking at BA or Boeing airline here in the top right corner. We're looking at a yearly chart, a daily chart, a yearly graph. You got to see if anyone hasn't opened up the news or done anything online. So BA had a second crash in their Max 8, and it just crashed this past Sunday. And you can kind of see here, I usually don't trade the news, but it was just an opportunity. The way the futures opened up on Sunday pointed that the Dow was going to go substantially lower. BA is a huge component within the Dow, and you can kind of see here it gapped down big. It literally hit the low of 365.95, kind of made a huge rally back and closing up a little bit above 400. Then today was lower due to the sense of a lot of countries, the UK, Germany, Australia, even China is grounding all the Max 8 flights. So there's about, I think FAA said that there are 387 Max 8s within flying worldwide, and about 74 of those are registered in the United States. So you're saying out of like 387 planes, 2 of them crashed within months. It's not really the greatest statistic moving forward for BA. But that being said, taking the news completely aside, technically, I've bought a couple shares of this yesterday around like the 380, 375 level, seeing that for the potential upside to go up. I didn't go full. I did like a starter position. So a starter position is something like, let's say if you want to invest $1,000 in this stock. Again, this is a kind of a higher price stock. It's around $370 right now. You can buy 3 shares of this if you do the $1,000 limit. And then if you just want to do a starter position, you just buy 1 share. I know that's next to nothing, but that's just the analogy that we're looking at right now. So you just want to buy 1 share. Let's say you buy it at the 380 level, and then like today it gaps down substantially lower. You set another limit order around like 365 if it breaks yesterday's low, which if it does break yesterday's low, the potential is most likely going to hit the resistance around the 200 EM or the 200 simple moving average at around 358-ish. So 358 and a half, we're just going to call that. So if it hits within this level, this is where I'm doing air quotes right now, the value investors come in again. I've stated like the 200 simple moving averages, usually the value investors are people who try to buy stocks on a discount. Another thing to note is that it had a huge gap fill here too. So this is some of the psychology behind trading and investing. Had a huge earnings report. A lot of people probably shorted it or didn't want to buy in because of that crash they had last year, thinking it's going to hurt sales, blah, blah, blah. It really didn't. They forecasted growth in China and different other markets. Continue to ride up here substantially. Then, of course, having some of the China news. Then, of course, the crash is bringing it back down. So it kind of had this gap fill. You can kind of see here that so the gap fill is basically this huge gap up. It usually, if something bad happens or good, if something bad happens, this is a very high target for it to come down to this entry gap, because there's a lot of people who didn't go long, people who bought in here want to get out of here, and usually this is an area of a probability or where it gets more enticing for a lot of people, where a lot of buyers come and jump in because they're like, oh, I missed it at this quarter, but now I could buy it here. I missed all this, but it's going to come back up, blah, 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 blah. So that's the kind of the thought process behind that. Let me get some water real fast once my throat's really dry. All right. So that being said on that, so this happens, I won't say really frequently, but gap fills are pretty much can happen to a lot of different stocks. But the other thing I wanted to show on the technical side was the basic Fibonacci retracement. So this is a swing low to high. Did I not do that right? Come on. I'm supposed to lock on there. There you go. So swing low to swing high. We had literally the 50% retracement. This is holding this 50% retracement. As I say, this is a line in the sand where this is important if it breaks this, and then of course the next one would be the low of yesterday, and then of course the 200 simple moving average. So that's kind of what I'm looking at BA here. Like we'll see what the news says about the black box data, if it was the stall mechanism within the 737 MAX 8 with the components that had the issue this last year with the Lions crash as well. So this is again kind of like a wait mode to see what the news comes out and so forth. But we'll see on how this fills. I kind of wanted to cover more of what the gap fill was. So like for example, Apple had a huge gap fill that I was looking at. Let's go to the weekly here. So I had a gap fill of 131.17. So all the way back here, it had a great earnings report, blew up, blah, blah, blah. You can't see it here because it's a weekly chart, but it had a gap fill in here. So most likely when everything hit the fan up here, when their iPhone sales weren't doing that great, they weren't selling many phones, and the interest rates were going up, blah, blah, blah. The Fed was saying they're raising rates. All this stuff was just coming down. I had a lot of targets that I was going to hit around the 125 to like the 130 level. I never got that low. Again, hit that 200s SMA on the weekly, literally to the T. It was pretty intense. Like you can't get much more precise on that. That was literally all those value investors were just buying that up. So the 200 SMA is, on a long-term perspective, a very great target, because you can kind of see here, just going back, this is what year is this? This is 2016-ish? Yeah, 2016, going to 2016, where it hit the 200, broke through it. Again, a lot of people came in here. Let's see a lot of volume. These blue lines in the back are all volume. Huge volume all the way on the way down. And then, of course, kind of bottomed out here. Again, this is all hindsight, of course, Monday quarterbacking here. But this is the kind of things to keep in mind when something really bad happens, the news breaks or something like that. Just keep an eye out on these moving averages, because no matter what happens, they have a small play into it and how they reacted moving forward. So that is my analysis on BA and some of the other indicators that I'm looking at for this particular trade. Again, it's on the weekly. If you look on the weekly just on BA, it's not that terrible. It's only coming back down to the 21 EMA, and you kind of see here, well, this is when it took off like took off like a rocket ship, and really just didn't look back and stayed within the 8 EMA, which is that teal line. Continue to go up and kind of hit here, kind of came back down. This was that February stuff that we had the past year. Hit the 21, boom, rose up, hit the 21, rose up, hit the 21, rose up, hit the 21, broke through here. This is kind of all the Fed stuff and the sell-off of end of last year into this year, and then since then it's been running up, boom, come back, hit the 21, and I see it consolidating in around this area, and then hopefully a push higher. Thank you everyone for watching. If you like what I'm doing, consider subscribing and hitting the like button. I greatly appreciate it. Catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.